Good afternoon. I'd like to call to order the full meeting of the Board of Visitors. Before we start, I'd like to ask Doug Wetmore to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. The first agenda item is approval of the September meeting minutes. May I have a motion to approve? Do I have a second? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Great, thank you. Next, we have the consent agenda items, which are enumerated in your materials in detail. Some points. The critical incident management plan was updated as is routine, but there are no major changes. The Dean of the School of Architecture is the next eligible Pavilion occupant according to the priority list in the Pavilion policy. This list, which was developed by the board more than 15 years ago, prioritizes the provost, the vice president for student affairs, any vice president proposed by the president and approved by the board, then the deans of the schools in order of their founding. The Pavilion policy is in the resource section of the board portal. May I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Mr. Rector, I ask that we pull number 9, number 10, and number 12 from the consent agenda, please. That's academic tuition and fees increase at UVA, academic and fee tuition increase at WISE, and the housing increase.
You want to take an individual vote on that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we can do that.
Aren't they?
We're not voting on.
That's in the final session. We're in the full
Beg your pardon.
board business meeting right now.
Gotcha.
So we'll just take note of that, so when we get to that portion, okay.
Okay.
We'll take note of that, thanks.
Okay, so may I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
With a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Great, thank you. Go up here on a very brief set of remarks, considering I had to talk a lot last night. I want to begin by thanking the chairs of the Honor Committee and the UJC, Laura Howard and Harper Jones, for speaking with us so candidly and with such eloquence yesterday. We have exceptional students at this university who give me boundless optimism for the future of our great university. I also want to thank everyone for honoring our former rectors and a few special administrators last night. This university has been fortunate to have people work and serve in leadership at the university and on this board that care deeply about this special place. As we enter the holiday season, I hope we all take time to reflect on this university and the great resolve it has in the wake of sometimes difficult events. This year has provided great challenges for our students, faculty, administration, and this board, yet we continue to move forward in serving the university and the Commonwealth. We continue to provide a world-class education to our students, great care to our patients at UVA Health, a great workplace environment for our employees, and to be recognized as one of the great institutions of higher learning from a rankings and a great value proposition. And finally, I want to wish everyone a joyous holiday season. I'd now like to turn it over to our student rep, Lisa Kopelnik, for her comments.
Thank you so much, Mr. Rector, and it's so good to see everybody, and I can't believe it's almost the end of this year. I want to start by saying how grateful I am to have the opportunity to represent students on the board. While there was much uncertainty about what the year would look like in September, students have embarked on a new path this semester. From my conversations with students from across the university, both undergraduate and graduate, there is one resounding theme that has come to define our shared experience this fall. Students say that this semester has felt different. There's a sense of calm, a sense of normalcy, and a renewed sense of community. Students have described it as a lighter air, a semester with room to breathe. And though each student grapples with their own set of pressures and concerns, this semester, students have been given the room to be students, a testament to our growth as a community and student self-governance, the support of the board and the administration, and the many people who make UVA special. In my remarks, I hope to reflect on how we have steadied the ship amid what has been a turbulent period for students and for higher education. To start, our students deeply appreciate UVA's strong sense of community and togetherness. Fall is filled with special events, including trick-or-treating on the lawn, different athletics events, a cappella and comedy shows, and more. Student affairs, as well as our student-run class councils and university programs council, have provided weekly spaces for students to gather and enjoy one another. These efforts have restored the energy and spirit of the student body. Students have also expressed continued gratitude for the mentorship and personal relationships they're able to develop with both faculty and administrators. From close relationships with professors and advisors in an academic setting to support from university offices ranging from the Office of Student Engagement to the Office of African American Affairs. In partnership with student leaders, the university has worked to build relationships with students across many backgrounds, ensuring transparency, communication, and trust. Students deeply appreciate relationships with faculty and administrators and believe that faculty and administrators' desire to get to know students here is what sets us apart from other institutions. One anecdote that I wanted to share that I think represents the best of UVA students, administration, and faculty working together is a new program initiated by the School of Engineering Student Council. Under the leadership of the Student Council's treasurer, Zachary Palazzado, the council recently launched a new initiative with Who's First in Student Affairs to allocate funding and provide support for students to travel, attend, and present at research conferences across the United States with the goal of professional development and expanding UVA's reach. One student, Juan Gomez, recently received this funding and as a result was able to travel to Los Angeles to attend a research conference, where with the guidance of his faculty, he was able to make a meaningful connection that later translated into a job post-grad working for Kimley Horn, a dream job with a premier planning and design engineering firm. There are thousands of examples of students looking out for each other and of the incredible outcomes that arise when students, faculty, and the administration partner together with the support of the board. Furthermore, this semester, students have not shied away from difficult dialogue. There have been peaceful vigils with regards to global events, including the war in the Middle East, and students stood together in a student-organized vigil to commemorate the second anniversary of the November 13th shooting. There was also a national election, in which many student groups participated in voter registration and awareness efforts. The morning after the election, there was a post-election analysis event hosted by the Karsh Institute for Democracy. The president of the University Democrats and the president of the College Republicans both spoke at the beginning of the event, student leaders setting the standard that we must lead with empathy and an open mind. In my conversations with students, people have different levels of understanding of the board. Many are attentive to what we do, many are not, but almost all are curious. One question I often get is why the board is called the Board of Visitors. While thousands of schools have a board of trustees, there are few that have a board of visitors, and the term is largely rooted in Virginia's history, as I've learned. The Board of Visitors was established with people who were appointed to visit the university with the purpose of oversight, to ensure that it was succeeding in its mission of service to the Commonwealth. So while a trustee's obligations are to the institution alone, a visitor's obligations are to the people of Virginia and to the Commonwealth, in addition to the university and its students. In this way, I explained to students that the board is and was designed to be much bigger than allegiance to any political party. Every visitor is tasked with something much greater, a commitment to the people of the university and the Commonwealth of Virginia. Students have expressed concerns that polarization and the politicization of higher education have affected and will affect the decisions we make as a board, a concern that has been shared across the aisle. I am grateful to the board for its long-time commitment to hearing the many perspectives of students. And while it is our responsibility as students to invest in student self-governance and UVA's institutions, it is our responsibility as the board to model the open-minded discourse and consideration of student voices that ensures student faith in our governance. We are all united by our love for this university. Staying true to my roots as a politics major, I have one final historical reference. Jefferson once wrote, "I am not an advocate for frequent changes in laws and constitutions, but laws and institutions must go hand in hand with the progress of the human mind. As that becomes more developed, as new discoveries are made, new truths discovered, and manners and opinions change, with the change of circumstances, institutions must advance also to keep pace with the times." In my conversations with students this semester, it has become clear that the greatness of UVA lies in its balance of tradition with progress in the pursuit of truth. Students express the beloved multi-generational traditions that make this place what it is. Singing the good old song, participating in the storied legacy of student self-governance, going to events like the lighting of the lawn, which I encourage all of you to stay for tonight. Eating dinners in pavilions with faculty, this is the magic of UVA. But as Jefferson imagined, students are also deeply appreciative of the board and the administration's efforts to ensure our institution keeps up with the progress of our society, as represented in our new and hugely popular School of Data Science and the institutes and centers devoted to researching and discussing modern and complex issues, and as shown through Access UVA and similar programs that ensure UVA is accessible and instills a sense of belonging for all students in the modern day. On behalf of students, I want to thank the board for its many efforts to ensure that this university fulfills its mission to the people of the university and to the Commonwealth of Virginia. Thank you and happy holidays.
Thank you, Lisa. The chair of the Faculty Senate and Professor of Systems and Information Engineering and Civil and Environmental Engineering, Jim Lambert, will give remarks. This is the first time Jim has spoken to the board. You may recall in September he was unavailable because he was at a NATO conference in Bulgaria, co-leading a NATO and U.S. Army-sponsored science workshop entitled Digital Technologies for Enhanced Cyber Resilience in Countries in Transition. Jim is an expert in risk management of engineering systems. Professor Lambert, thank you.
Thank you very much, Rector Hardy. Thank you for inviting the Senate to come and make its report today. I've been a professor here since 1996. I'm an alum of Virginia Public Schools in Henrico County all the way through high school, and also I'm a double who through graduate school here. It's the best part of my career to be here today. And I want to say I've been invited to say something about myself, but the message that I'm bringing is one of unity of the Faculty Senate with the board and administration. Unity in action. We may have a plurality of thoughts and views, and but we're working together in governance, and shared governance is the term we use in the Senate. In 1904, we had the first president of the university. Prior to that, the chair of the faculty was the administrative head, presiding officer of the university. One of those, John Davis, he was assassinated in 1840, thereabout. And William Barton Rogers was another of those chairs of the Senate. He founded MIT and was the president of the American Association for the Advancement of Science. And we have other examples where leaders and prominent members of the faculty have been prominent in science and arts and poetry and the rest. And that's really my vision as chair, has been to maintain our eminence as a world-leading faculty, that we stand with the Sorbonne and Oxford and ETH, University of Switzerland, and University of Toronto and the rest. And that's in addition to doing our diligence in the business operating of the Senate. I'd like to tell you some about our 82 elected senators. 30 are from the College of Arts and Sciences, serving 4-year terms. 20 are from the School of Medicine. 10 are from engineering, and then the other schools are smaller and have proportionately less representation. No school has fewer than 2 senators representing to the Faculty Senate. Formally, the Senate includes all deans of the university, all vice presidents, and the president of the university and the provost. And the president and provost have been generous speaking to our executive council and also to the Senate in recent months, and for the several years that I've been on the Senate. It's a very important conduit of communication. We have 7 standing committees. I spoke today with the Finance Committee chair and the policy chair. We're having our executive council meeting actually right now, and we have a DEI committee. We have academic affairs committee that looks after the formation of degree programs. We have a program committee on research, teaching, and service. So and 3 other committees. Grievance committee is one of the important functions of the Senate. That's our daily business, is the appointing of faculty to search committees and others, and it's keeping 82 of us very busy. Today I've spoken with the grievance committee chair as well. In closing, I want to tell you how I started my day. I was spent an hour at a presentation by a faculty from the IIT, the India Institute of Technology. He was presenting on sediment transport in the rivers of the Himalayas. And in preparing for this talk today, I thought, what's the meaning of this? I went to that meeting expecting to see data analysis and the latest maps, and he promised drone technology, but he explained how the sediments of the Himalayan rivers, which are sacred rivers, they are connected to society. He explained sediment management, which means how are those cities and states around the Himalayan rivers, how are they generating value, supply chains, making of building supplies and cements. I began to think also, I learned so much there, but then I go back to the Senate and we have the experts on the religion of the region. We have experts on the governance of the region. We have experts on the human behaviors, population behaviors, and we have experts on the history of the Indian subcontinent. And that's really the delight of being a senator and meeting across our disciplines. And I'm very happy to invite the board to come and visit us when as we meet once per month. Ms. Wilkinson and Ms. Sheridan were generous with their time and spoke to us about a month ago, and I feel like we had a good two-way communication on one or more topics then, and look forward to more of that. Thank you for bringing me here today, and I look forward to the next weeks and months with you.
Great, thank you. Are there any questions?
I just have one question. So on the committees, is that self-selecting, or do you appoint people to the various committees that you mentioned?
Oh, that's a very good question. The senators are elected in March, April, and then we meet in May and June in the Executive Council. We assign the 82 senators based on their preferences, that we take a Qualtrics survey, to the 7 standing committees. Then each committee elects a chair, and if that chair is not already an at-large member of the committee, they are become a member of EXCO. We have 7 at-large members, and that's the Executive Council. If there's a tie, then the EXCO breaks the tie, and there are various other rules for that. There's so that's I think I'm getting some to your question.
Yeah, that's very helpful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great, do we have any additional questions? Well, thank you so much for your service. We really appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Next item, the gift and grants report is a written report in your materials. Please take the time to look at it. To our many generous donors, thank you for your support of our great university. Philanthropy is a vital component of our financial structure, providing crucial support to all of the schools as well as the medical center. At this time, President Ryan would like to make an announcement about one important gift. Jim?
Thanks, Robert. So for this meeting, I ceded my leadership time so we could have the session on athletics, but there is one announcement that I would love to make. So as all of you know, as a former and current board member, John now has been incredibly generous to UVA. And he is someone, in addition, who I've come to deeply respect and consider a friend. So I am absolutely delighted to share the news that John and the John Now Foundation have made a $20 million commitment for graduate education in the College and Graduate School of Arts and Sciences. Picking up on a topic we talked about earlier, John's gift will be matched with $10 million from the university, and he could probably attest to the importance of that in securing this gift. So once fully funded, his gift will support 30 to 35 graduate students a year, and that will only grow in time as the endowment grows. This is important not only for attracting the very best graduate students, but graduate students are integral to undergraduate teaching and also integral to faculty research. And I will say that I believe the only person more excited about this gift than I am is Krista Akampora, who is the Dean of the College and Graduate School of Arts and Sciences. Krista, you want to raise your hand? This gift is really a testament to her leadership and her vision. So congratulations to you as well. John, I don't know if you'd like to share any words, or Krista?
Well, quickly, I asked her, where's the biggest gap in the college? Very quickly, it was the graduate student, and she gave me a chart on what was missing, and it was an easy decision. And then, appropriate to our discussion earlier today, I was trying to decide, make this decision and make the commitment. Jim came in with a bundle to add to it. So I will say to the discussion that we had earlier, I don't know that I would have made the decision in this time, at this timeliness, if Jim hadn't come in and said, here's what we'll throw in, and it's out of the sieve. So I would just suggest that the timeliness and the flexibility that he had convinced me to make that decision right then and not wait for 4 or 5 or 6 months. So Jim, I want to thank you for making the door happen. Thank you. Thanks, everybody.
I'd like to ask Dean Akampor to explain the significance this is going to have on the college and on what particular areas and how it's going to really take some of our programs to the next level.
Well, thank you for the opportunity, and John, your passion and dedication and love for this place is truly inspiring. And as I said to John right after his commitment of this gift, that kind of investment, the level of engagement that our friends, donors, and alumni have for the university, it's what inspires me to get up every morning and come back and work harder and harder every day for the good of the university. This gift strikes at the core mission of the university. And part of the joy of working together with John and thinking about the contours of this gift is to have a chance to explain how graduate education is the critical fuel for the overall academic ecosystem that we try to sustain here at the university. Graduate students are not only serving as TAs, that might be John's most memorable experience during his student days, and not necessarily a good one, but we're getting some better ones, John. But they serve as thought partners for our faculty. They are at the leading edges of discovery and creativity. The moment that inspired by the generosity of the College Foundation to launch a campaign for $150 million in endowment resources for the graduate school, I immediately saw impact. Not only were we getting more graduate student applications and better ones, but faculty who are coming in for their recruitment interviews were saying, I heard about what you're doing with graduate education. I want to be a part of that. So it's had immediate impact on the quality of talent that we're able to attract to the university and the vibrancy of our academic community. I'm deeply, deeply grateful.
Great, thank you. Any questions for Dean Akampor? Can you share with us the specific areas where you think it will impact in the college? In the graduate school, have you determined that?
So we've spent the past year and a half looking at places where we have national and growing international prominence. Graduate student numbers, graduate student support is a key element in rankings of department programs it also has significant impact on the overall reputation of the university. So I have been looking at core areas of strength and opportunity across all three of the academic divisions where we already have excellence in creative writing. That's a good place to double down. Where we have international renown for our Department of English, in my mind, that's a place to double down. Our students are still getting placements and good ones. We're competitive in the market for history, for economics, for politics. We have an outstanding chemistry department that is a key contributor to the university's efforts around biotechnology. I am keenly interested in supporting neuroscience for similar reasons in the college. So those are just a few of the places where I expect that will be money very well invested. We'll see a significant return.
Thank you. Great, thank you so much, and thank you, John, for your continued generosity to this university. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
And with that, we are done with the full meeting of the board. We are going to go into closed session. So, Dan Brody, will you please read us into closed session?
Mr. Rector. I move that we vote on and record our certification that to the best of each member's knowledge, only public business matters lawfully exempted from open meeting requirements and which were identified in the motion authorizing the closed session were heard, discussed, or considered in closed session.
Thank you. We have a motion to come out of closed session. Do we have a second? Second. Ms. Harris will now call the roll.
Mr. Hardy.
Aye.
Mr. Brown.
Aye.
Mr. Blue.
Aye.
Mr. Brody.
Aye.
Mr. Ellis.
Aye.
Mr. Gilm.
Aye.
Mr. Harris.
Aye.
Dr. Long.
Aye.
Mr. Now.
Aye.
Dr. Okonkwo.
Aye.
Mr. Payne.
Aye.
Ms. Pillion. Aye. Ms. Sheridan.
Aye.
Mr. Webb.
Aye.
Mr. Wetmore.
Aye.
Ms. Wilkinson. Aye. Mr. Kennedy.
Aye.
Ms. Kopelnik. Aye.
Great, thank you. We're now in open session. For our final session, I refer you to the printed docket, which is in your materials and which you received in advance of this meeting. The docket has the full text of the resolutions on which we will vote. These resolutions have been approved earlier by the committees in which they originated, and you will see in the docket a notation on each resolution with the name of the originating committee and the date on which the committee took action. Before you read the titles, Mr. President, do any of you have any that you would like to separate out from the consent agenda? Dr. Long?
Thank you, Mr. Rector. Number 9, academic tuition and fees at UVA. Number 10, academic tuition and fees at WISE. Number 12, housing increase. And number 13, food increase.
Great, okay. Numbers 9, 10, 12, and 13 will be separated out for individual vote.
Rector, just to be clear, for the SIF resolution, it is what the committee approved and has now been distributed at everyone's desk, not was in the
Correct.
presented.
We're voting on what it's been distributed.
Correct.
That's correct,
Just so
okay.
everybody
And the president has the new title.
Oh, yes, okay.
Mr. President, would you please read the titles of the block agenda items that we've agreed to vote on in block?
Sure. Renaming the Bicentennial Professorship in Advanced Medical Analytics, the Randall and Liza Moorman Bicentennial Professorship in Advanced Medical Analytics, signatory authority for medical center contract with Compass Group USA, addition to the major capital plan construction of Ivy Corridor student housing, John B. and Ann M. Cope Jefferson Scholars Foundation Distinguished Professorship in Systems and Information Engineering, Whit and Carol Stevens Jefferson Scholars Foundation Distinguished Professorship in Economics, Kathy L. Hullfish Professorship in Obstetrics and Gynecology, new degree program, Bachelor of Science in Education in English as a Second Language, education in the School of Education and Human Development, new degree program, Bachelor of Science in Education and Secondary Education in the School of Education and Human Development, faculty and staff housing rates for 2025-2026, major capital project financial plans for the North Grounds parking garage and Ivy Corridor student housing, pre-authorization of issuance of general revenue pledge bonds, and approval of strategic investment fund interim governing principles and commitments.
May I have a motion to approve the following: the consent and the action items just outlined by President Ryan in the docket, and the faculty personnel actions discussed in closed session? We have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Great. Jim, would you please read individually the other action items that will be voted on?
Okay.
And take them one by one.
One by one? Okay.
Yes.
2025-2026 increases in academic division tuition and miscellaneous fees.
So we have, Jim has read that. Do we have a motion to approve that? Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
Okay, please notice Dr. Long's nay vote. May you move on to the
Keep
next
going.
one?
Okay. 2025-2026 increases in college at Wise tuition and miscellaneous fees.
So moved.
I've been told by the Robert's Rules of Order expert over here that we don't need a
It's coming
second.
out of committee, it doesn't require a motion or a second yet.
Second.
Okay. So could all in favor say aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
All right. Student housing rates for 2025-2026 for the academic division, the University of Virginia's College at Wise, and the Mountain Lake Biological Station.
Do we have we don't need a motion, do we have a vote? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
All right. Last but not least, contract rates for dining services for 2025-26 for the academic division and the University of Virginia's College at Wise and Mountain Lake Biological Station.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
All right.
I believe we have done all of our business unless there's anything else anybody would like to discuss. I wish you all a happy holiday and thank you so much for your efforts.
Oh, and last thing. At your seat
Okay, that's
are gifts from JJ, Ian, Craig, and me. Your only obligation is to send me a picture of you wearing what you just got. All right.
Thank you.